Yes, my name is Kevan Jones. I'm the Member of Parliament for North Durham.
And what is your connection to this women's centre?
Well, I was right in the beginning when they came to see me at surgery asking for how they would get the thing started. And in the early days it was touch and go in terms of funding. I've helped with funding and also seen it just grow from very small beginnings to now what we've got now.
Obviously you're now the patron of the centre,
Yeah.
and you opened it up with Linda Marshall last August. What's your kind of ideals for this place? Would you like to see it expanded and all over? Or?
I think what it is, it's about dealing, there's a big myth that somehow it's easy for people, for example, if they've got mental health problems, to suddenly get back into work. I think the beauty about this centre with the women they're dealing with who've got mental health issues, they can be trained, they can be supported and get the confidence back to actually go into work. And I think by the figures that are seen in terms of the number they've got into work or into full-time training and education, it shows it's working.
What do you believe on self-therapy that Linda promotes with the Crafton? Do you believe it's an actual help with people with depression, or?
Yeah, I've seen it. I'm patron of Chester Street Mind, and they do art therapy, and that's one of the great things in terms of one of the key things in terms of people with anxiety and disorders and depression is to actually relax. And their art therapy works. Likewise, knitting here and other crafts work. Even though when they opened it, they got me to try and knit, but I gave up on it.
If there was something that was available for men, do you think it would have made you come out sooner? Or not?
Well, I think the problem is men are terrible about talking about mental health, and my main message is this: whether men or women, we should be just talking about mental health issues. It's nothing to be ashamed about. It's a stigma that's been there, and I think the more we talk about it, the better it is. And if we can have centres like this that are actually be able to give the time and patience, because there's some time needed sometimes in terms of getting over some of these illnesses, then I think that's better in terms of those individuals, but also trying to break the taboo around mental health.
In terms of the North Durham constituency, where would you like to see this centre going within North Durham?
Well, I think it's only been going 2 years, and I think what's been achieved here in 2 years has been absolutely remarkable. I think the enthusiasm of the people involved means it will grow, and I think what we should be looking at is mainstream agencies like Job Centre Plus and others actually using centres like having contracts with centres like this to actually help people back into work, because it's a good example of where the voluntary sector and people's enthusiasm can actually, I think, be better than the actual maintained sector.
With this return to work and everything that the Job Centre's doing with several women now to do on the work programmes and work placements, do you think if the Job Centre had a better understanding of mental health, that it would be able to benefit Job Centre clients more than what they do, instead of now, where if you walk in and you hand a sick note over and you go, I need to be put on I need to change my benefit system from job seekers allowance to employment support. Do you think if the Job Centre had a better understanding, it would be more beneficial for people who I don't even know how to word it.
Yeah, no.
So kind of not worry about
well, I think the problem, and I've raised this in Parliament, is the issue about, for example, the work capability test and other things, is that it's quite clear the people doing those tests have got no understanding of people with mental health issues. We all know that work is actually good for people's mental health, but not pressurised work. And I think the great thing about this centre is it's allowing women to come back into the area of work, but at their own pace, with the support of people who actually understand the issues around mental illness and how to deal with it. I think the problem is at the moment with the work capability test and the other target-based approach they've got is it's a bit of a blunt instrument in saying that you can deal with somebody with a physical disability the same as you can with somebody with a mental illness. And the important thing is again, mental illness in this process has been overlooked. And what we need, I think, is a separate stream, a separate work stream for dealing with men and women with mental health illnesses and how you get them back into work, whether it be part-time work, or also I think I'm a big believer that if those individuals can't hold down full-time jobs, being involved in voluntary work is actually, I think, better in terms of not only their own well-being but also a contribution to the broader community than actually just trying to force them through targets, is what's happening at the moment.
With Linda's targets and numbers at the minute, with women getting back into work, women getting back into education, what can you see happening with Linda and this centre? Can you see her staying, or can you see her eventually just being shut down because of lack of funding?
Well, no, I think what Linda's got to do is she's proved here in 2 years with the figures and what it costs to run this centre is a damn sight cheaper to get people into education and into work than some of the contracts which the Department of Employment have got with some of these mainstream providers. To get 30 odd women into work and also another 8 going into self-employment and people into education on a budget of less than £40,000 a year is really very cheap compared to on the contracts around now at the moment £3,000 plus a head, or even £10,000 plus a head to try and get somebody into work. So I mean, I think from a cost-effective point of view, she's shown not only is it works because she understands and the people here understand people's problems and get them at what they need to do to get them back into work, it actually makes economic common sense to support a centre like this.
Obviously this is a social enterprise and Linda's brought it up from nothing to where it is now. Would this work as a charity, or would this be better as Linda in a social enterprise and building it up on her own and staying separate?
Well, I think the social enterprise model is a good one because what you're doing there is you're reinvesting back the profits back into the business. I think the important point is that there's always a time, I think, with the business you need to get it to a sustainable level. I think you get very close here to that point. But in terms of the results she's getting, I just think they're remarkable. And I think in terms of trying to look at an effective model of getting some people who, especially young women or women who've got severe mental health problems, they are a very difficult group to get back into work. And if you can prove that, one, very cost effectively, but also in a humane sort of way, get people back into it, what she's done, that's got to be a model that should be looked at other places. She's got 2 things going. One, she's got a business background, so she understands business, and she knows she's got a hard nose for business, you need. But she's also a human dynamo in the sense is that nothing will let us stop in terms of getting things done. And that's what you need. And I think a combination of the two, the business savvy and business head she's got with her actual enthusiasm and caring for what she's doing, I think is a key part of why this has been such a success in such a short period of time.